Welcome to EJ8 Birch Cars. So today something a little different from body work, at least, though still fabrication. We need to make a new bottom part for the box that makes the pocket in the firewall for the master cylinders to sit in. Mine's all pretty rusty, so I thought I'd change out the bottom of it anyway rather than try to build the whole thing. So let's take a look. So here it is in situ. This is where this is a left-hand drive car, so this is where the master cylinder sits, and this is the piece of sheet metal that bolts in here. And as you can see, the bottom of that's all pockmarked, and those two tabs in the middle, I think, are what's left of what used to be a cage nut, which I assume is going to be 5/16. So I'll have to take a look at that, but it certainly looks like it's that size hole. So what I want to do is cut this floor out, and we'll take this last little lip here. We're going to cut it down square there, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little joggling machine, and we'll turn that edge in a little bit, because this is only about a 16th smaller than the hole in the firewall. And I think if I just lap the edges like that, it'll make it difficult to install. You'll have to file the body or something. I don't want to do that. So anyway, we'll fold that edge up. We'll joggle this corner. We'll probably have to make a slight slit there to let the piece joggle in. We'll see. And then I think I'm just going to go and spot weld it. And then we'll have to do something about this captured cage nut, because I don't have any pre-made cages for 5/16. And this is, I don't know, this looks a little different. I've not done one of these before, so I'm not sure exactly what was there, but we'll figure something out. And I suppose that everything's slotted so that the master cylinder can slide a little bit. And then it has this access plate on the back. There's just a flat plate with 4 screws. There's those little spring metal clips for them to thread into. So I've cut the piece out. So basically just cut this out rectangularly. This line will represent where that turn up is, and just cut it to be the same length. And it's not quite an inch wider, so we can just turn the 2 edges up to meet the joggles in there. So the next thing to do, I think, will be to cut this. I'll probably just use a saw. I've got a battery operated reciprocal saw. I'll probably cut that out along that line and then cut down this way, and then I'll bend that flap over and then cut it sideways. Well, let's get going with that. So that's the base of the box. I'm going to cut it like this so I can just let the saw right along that edge to keep it straight. And next I'll do these 2 vertical cuts. I got the 2 long ones. They're fairly straight. They're not perfect, but it is what it is. It's not exactly a high precision piece to start with. Alright, well there's the piece I cut out. You can see it better now how pockmarked it is. And this is what's holding the master cylinder and the pressure from the brake pedal. I really didn't want to trust myself to that. It's not really that horrible, but there are several holes all the way through. So we'll go fabricate the other piece. Okay, so I traced out the outside edges of the plate, and they're not quite straight because they fall like not quite straight cuts, but we're going to bend them on the bend and that'll take care of it. And I also traced out these 5 holes slotted in the hole holes, so these are probably 5/16. And then these we'll do is to drill a hole at each end and then cut them out somehow. I don't know, probably just a file, but I'll go get working on that. Drilled 2 holes and then just used a round file to join the holes in a square file or flat file. Square them up. These are 1 size bigger than 5/16, and I set these at, they were 1/4 inch, but I drilled them a little oversized just to make up for any inaccuracies in the translation. And this is just where those clips go on for the sheet metal screws. So one thing to note, this hole pattern is actually offset, and that's how it is on the original. So you want to make sure that when you bend this back piece, you get it in the right direction so the holes aren't offset to the wrong side. So scribe a line and bend this next. So I made my 2 notches. I marked up so I wouldn't get it wrong. I'm going to bend my long lines first because there's a little bit of clearance here. I should be able to put that into the bender, and these will clear with that gap here. And then I'll do that last, and if it doesn't clear, I can always put that in the vise. It's narrow enough, and these are much longer. So I'm going to bend one side, and then I'm going to look for fit. See how it's doing, just find out exactly where I'm going to bend the other side. So I'll get doing on that. It's me from the future. I should have bent that tab first because the notches work to let me do that one. But it's not that big a deal. This is a really small tab. Also, you're going to need to trim this front edge to allow for the angle on the other piece because this front lip hangs past the box. So this is my joggling tool. And you can see there's a little step in the jaw. You want to make sure you get that around the right way. And then we're just going to go all the way around. You like to run the line twice. There you go. I don't know how well that shows up, but got a line across, and of course I have to do it at an angle there because of that. But that should work, and then we'll just spot weld it when we're done. Also, while I got this piece cut off, let's see if I can't get in here and clean this up a little better. Well, there's the first 2 sides bent, and for my car, this outside to outside dimension shouldn't be any more than 5 inches. I mean, quite literally. It could be like 5 and a couple of thousandths, I'll grant you, but 5 inches is what it needs. The opening's about 5 1/8. Last thing to do will be to bend up that edge, and I should be able to feed it in that way. And it should get at least get it started, then we'll have to finish it up on the vise. And there it is. Cut, it's just sitting on there with friction right now, but I'm going to go and spot weld there. And then we'll MIG weld the corners in. And I got a bit of a gap there, but that'll all, it's easy to weld the gap back up. So it looks pretty good though. It looks a lot better than it did, that's for sure. And with this off, I cleaned out an awful lot more of that. I still had to do the corners by hand, obviously, but it looks a lot better than it did. So I'm going to go and weld all that up and probably get it in primer. But I'll stop somewhere and take another picture of it so you can see. It's starting to get a bit dark, but hopefully you can see this. So there it is, all spotlight welded along that edge. MIG welded around the corner and ground off. Same thing over there. I found this is the type of capture cage that they use on the fenders that has the slot that lets the nut move, and a 5/16 hex nut fits in there fine, and I think that'll be all right. You know, ideally it'd be a square nut, but hey, you know, we'll go with what we got. You can always, you know, if you were taking this apart, the master cylinder would be out of there anyway, so you can always grab that if you need to. So there it is, all done, much prettier. I'm going to pickle this, let it sit, you know, for at least till tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so If it doesn't rain, then I'll primer this, and I got a couple other bits and pieces I need to primer as well. But if not, that's it. So anything critical, this overall dimension should be no more than 5 inches. These are all slotted. This is offset to one side, don't know why, but it is. That's about it. There was apparently a rubber plug here. It was just this molten mass of goo, and then that back plate goes there, and then we'll put a little caulking around it before we bolt it down. But of course we're going to paint it red first. So that's it. So, you know, a little bit of metal I had laying around and some leftover parts from doing fenders, so there's no real cost in this other than, you know, a little bit of wire. And it looks really nice, and of course it's good and strong. So I hope you enjoyed all that. It's time for me to pick up all my toys and get cleaned up and go to dinner. It's starting to get dark. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we'll see you next time.